The other night was the Oscars, and I personally thought it was a really good show.
Yep.
They simplified it. They brought it a little bit back down to basics. They made it a little bit more, straight lined, but it was charming. It had some wonderful feel-good moments in the show. I still think they need to cut those damn music numbers, except for Natu Natu. That was one of the most fun moments of the entire evening. I love that little RR musical number. All that kind of stuff. But one of the big questions going into the Oscars this year was, what are the ratings going to be? I mean, I've had a lot of people writing into me saying they're going to continue to tank. They're going to go down. They're going to go down. Nobody cares about the Oscars anymore. Of course, it was airing the same night as the finale of Last of Us. And we had people writing into this show saying, Last of Us is going to get way more viewers than the Oscars is and all that kind of stuff. And the Oscars is going to continue to tank. And I have made the bold prediction. A lot of people were saying this. It wasn't just me. That I think you're going to see the rating numbers of the Oscars go up. I said they're not going to be like night and day, go up overnight, but you're going to see you're going to see them continue to climb, go up, and absolutely more people will watch the Oscars that night than watch Last of Us. And well, that's what happened, because not only did the Oscars for the second year in a row see their viewership go up, it is the highest rated of any award show over the past 3 years. So seems recovering from that pandemic gut punch that it took. And they more than doubled the viewership that The Last of Us had on that night. But listen, if you're Last of Us, if you're airing your show the same night as the Oscars and you get nearly half the viewers as the Oscars do, that's a freaking feather in your cap, man. That's a boasting point. At any rate, we go over here and take a look at this. This comes to us from CNN, who wrote the following. Oscar ratings weathered a fungus-infected zombie invasion in the form of the season finale of the HBO's hit drama The Last of Us to post their second straight year-over-year improvement, regaining more of the audience that they lost when the viewership plummeted during the pandemic. The 95th Academy Awards averaged 18.7 million viewers per Nielsen data, a 12% increase compared to last year, and the biggest audience for any award show in 3 years. While that is still low in historic terms, given the overall erosion of linear TV viewing, such gains are surely welcome to host network ABC and the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts, and Sciences. So they went up again. Now, they really bottom out in 2021. That was the damn train station Oscars. The year that I said they shouldn't even do the Oscars. Viewership completely bottomed out with the Oscars with 10 million viewers. Last year, they took a 60% increase. This year, it takes another 12% increase. They're back up to like 18.7 million. They're not back to the 2020 numbers that they had, which was a 20 plus million, but we see the Oscars getting back there. Okay. So a couple of the questions and things that I take away from this. Number one, it tells me that, again, take away sporting events. No, not sporting events. Take away NFL events, because the ratings in the Oscars were higher than the NBA finals. But they don't touch NFL, like the championship games and whatever. Take away NFL, the Oscars is still the highest viewed thing on television in North America. My other takeaway is, I think, again, the fact that they have 10 nominees. I know some people have wondered that whether the 10 nominees should be brought back down to 5 for Best Picture, but I think having 10 nominees and having films like Avatar, which I think would have gotten nominated anyway, Top Gun Maverick, which maybe would have got nominated anyway, but having these blockbuster films in there, and they deserve to be there. They weren't put there just as a token. They deserve to be in that thing. I think that was great. I think having these feel-good stories of like Ke Huy Quan getting his Oscar and the run that he had, I think just the real, even though Everything Everywhere All at Once wasn't a huge blockbuster hit, The Whale was not a huge blockbuster hit, but I think even people who never saw those movies were attracted to these really human feel-good stories of the return of Brendan Fraser, Ke Huy Quan. I think the story of the Daniels was really exciting. I think, a number of these things was really promising and looked really good. And I think, I'm going to go on a limb right now, I think the ratings for the Oscars next year are going to go up again, because this year they put together a really good show. This was the first time in a while that I'm coming out of the Oscars, again, other than the musical numbers, I had no major complaints. It actually flowed really well. It felt tight. I like the show. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do next year. Rob, we're getting the info now. We're getting the data. Again, second year in a row, they're up 72% from when they bottomed out in 2021. Despite the fact that it was going up against the finale of The Last of Us. What's your big takeaway from this info we're getting?
Well, I think you stated it really well. First of all, it was a great show. And I think that people came back to the movies this year. People are excited about movies more than they had been during the pandemic, certainly more than the train wreck. There just wasn't that many movies people could see. And the ones, no one wanted to get out of the house.
By the way, that was a pretty good moment.
It was yes, that was a very good moment. And I think this show, like you said, John, this was really a feel-good, buoyant, happy show. I mean, you felt good watching it. I mean, this picture right here sums it all up. I mean, not just because Everything Everywhere set Oscar records with the sweep that it made, but I mean, these are all great stories. They're all fun stories. I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis, I've been watching Jamie Lee Curtis since 1978. And for her to win her first Oscar, what a great story that is.
It was Chris pointed out yesterday. Can we put that last picture back up there? But Chris was pointing out yesterday that of those four people, all of them, talking about feel-good stories, all four of them, first-time nominations.
Yeah.
And three of them basically thought their careers were basically done or the best of their careers was behind them.
Absolutely, 100%.
I mean, so you're right. I mean, that feel-good element is really prevalent.
And also I think that the feeling, obviously, the political feelings toward Hollywood, they kept the show, they kept a lot of politics out of it that people get upset about, and they really celebrated, they brought the glitz and the glamour back. I mean, once again, everybody on the red carpet looked great. It was just, that's why you watch the Oscars, to feel that Hollywood magic. And it was sort of untainted. It was uncut Hollywood magic. And, there's that meme, I posted it on my page, of Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones hugging Shorty from Temple of Doom.
Well, he was the first person that he gave the Oscar for the Best Picture to Ki Kwan first. It was beautiful.
It was so good. And it's like, come on. It's the magic. There's still magic in Hollywood, John, and the Oscars proved it this year.
All right, guys. Question is for you. What do you think about this? Again, another year that the ratings for the Oscars went up again, fared very well against the powerhouse that is The Last of Us season finale. What did you attribute that to? Do you think the numbers will continue to go up next year? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. We want to thank a sponsor of this video, MasterClass. MasterClass offers classes on a wide variety of topics, all taught by world-class instructors at the very top of their fields. Each class is broken out into individual video lessons, usually around 10 minutes long. And MasterClass is completely accessible on your phone, the web, smart TV, and available via audio mode to listen to classes on the go. They have over 2,500 video lessons from over 180 of today's most brilliant minds. They're all available anytime, anywhere on iOS, Android, desktop, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku. Now, obviously around here on the John Campea Show, we love our movies, so why not learn filmmaking from Jodie Foster, or maybe directing from Ron Howard himself, or the great Neil Gaiman doing his class on the art of storytelling. And you guys have heard me talk about my favorite class, Business Strategy and Leadership by Big Papa Iger himself, Bob Iger, the new and returning CEO of Disney. So guys, I highly recommend that you check it out. Get unlimited access to every class, and as a John Campea Show listener, you get 15% off an annual membership. Just go to masterclass.com/Campea now. That's masterclass.com/Campea for 15% off Masterclass.